All right, boys, what is going on? Big Cat here. So, so we're off last week. So a lot of action over the last 2 weeks. Smitty's anniversary is tonight, so happy anniversary to Dave. He will splice in his rankings after this. But we wanted to get something out to you boys here, um, because it is a tight race in the old Factory of Sadness. Um, I was talking with Tony today, actually. Basically every team is the same. I think we have a new contender, and I think the people we were kind of, casting aside are probably getting back into the race. So, like we've seen every year, you know, the first 6 weeks, anything can happen, and then, flip the script can flip on anyone, and your team can go from pretty good to pretty mediocre pretty quick. And I certainly know something about that. So let's take a look here at the updated rankings. I will share my screen. All right. So here's what we got. Pretty interesting. Um, let's take a look at the records first. So we have Grow Up, Tony, best team ever. Really mad we weren't up here putting him over every week. And he has had some fantasy football luck like I've never seen before. He has actually dropped to number 2 in total points, and you can see how far he was ahead after 2 weeks, with pretty close to myself after 2 weeks, Midnight Poutine, and we have both dropped back substantially. I had a couple lucky wins and lost last week, putting up a stinker to a team I think is on the rise, with Big Poppy. So, um, lots of action there. But we didn't actually see too much movement in the actual rankings, from a couple weeks ago. But what we did see is, I know you guys don't look at these numbers and they don't mean much, but really pretty tightly packed, even with Panda losing a heartbreaker on Monday night. Um, so, the teams at the top are kind of coming back to the pack, and the teams that were at the bottom are moving up. So I still have, and with my rankings here, I think that's really what kind of moved the top around. I still have Dave's team as number 1 right now, just based on really his depth of his roster. He's really not going to have too many off weeks. Um, had a couple injuries he had to deal with. Um, Lost last week, I believe. We go back here real quick. And yep, put up a stinker against the bearded clam, who is sneaking his way back into the race. Panda lost on Monday night, like I said. Floppy D just isn't his year. Wonder if he'll start to try to move some people. I saw this one coming when I looked at the starting lineups when they came through. Damian Harris, don't think he even played. I don't think he came out or anything like that. I think he was out. Um, his boy Deion Jackson on the bench would have put him over 200. Look at that max score. Damn. Matt Ryan over Matt Stafford. What are you going to do on that one? But that is all of a sudden a really good team, and I think Travis Etienne is on the rise as well. So Big Poppy was pretty much the biggest riser, up 3 spots, and kind of grabbing that last playoff spot. Derelict My Balls has been playing well. Turd Ferguson, who was I think number 1 when I first did this, um, had some injury bad luck, had some matchup bad luck. Um, he's coming back down. Um, Really, the only person who's kind of struggling this year is the old Floppy D. He moved all the way down to the bottom. So, kind of a different spread, but I think in since we've last talked, It's really anyone's game. I don't see anyone as the favorite right now whatsoever. I don't see anyone, besides Tony, who's got, a 6-0 record. I don't think many of the divisions are even close to being decided. I think these guys in last place, I think, could wind up winning the division pretty easily. Dare My Balls is only a game out. This division is wide open. Butthole Surfers, still a solid squad, but kind of shown you come back to the pack a little bit. Big Poppy could win that division. I would not be surprised. So that's kind of my rankings here, updated a little bit. Quick run through the games for this week. And I can tell you I'm going to lose this week because the one thing I have going for me is Josh Allen, and he is not playing this week. So that's going to be a problem. I have to pick someone up, I think. So I'll run through these games real quick. This is the game of the week. Website has Butthole Surfers going off the top of my head. Kelsey has a kind of a rough matchup this week. Butthole Surfers has Jacobs coming back off a bye. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chaos card and pick Butthole Surfers this week. I get Tony. Wonderful. You know what? No, I can't pick myself. This is probably pretty close to accurate. I got bye problems. I have no one to start a quarterback. Hopefully I score more than 89 points. But I'm taking Tony in that matchup. Floppy D, sorry to say, I'm going to have to say you're not going to win this week against Mike. So I'll take Mike there. How about Chuggers? Let's take Chuggers here. I expect a big week from Kyler Murray this week on Thursday Night Football. Had a nice week last week. I believe he won. So I'm going to go Chuggers there. Panda's due for a big week. I need the Libtard to lose. So I'm going to go Panda on this. Big Poppy, let's see, against Turd Ferguson, a game he has to win. Yeah, I'm going to say Turd Ferguson has just had some bad luck, so he's due for a win. I'm going to take old Dave Free there to get back on track. And that's it. So yeah, good luck to everyone this week. Just wanted to get a quick video out there for everybody. And yeah, it's really anyone's game. I don't think besides maybe Bobby, anyone's looking to sell at this point. I don't think Bobby really even would be. I'd say he's got a couple weeks before that would need to happen. But it's really anyone's game. Really, really even teams out there. So yeah, good luck this week, and we'll show you Dave's rankings after this, and talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, Big Cat. Just real quick, I want to go through the rankings. So without any further ado, here we go. All right, so as you guys can see here, the right-hand column is the prior week. Since I didn't publish my rankings last week, you can see where you guys all stood last week. But as you can see, there's almost no changes. It's a down week in scoring, and, there were a couple good performances, but nothing that really move the needle for me per se. So I'm just going to start from the top and we'll go from there. So in the 1 seed, we still have Tony and Grow Up. They moved to 6-0, another lucky win with only 122.92 points. But at 6 wins, he's all but guaranteed a playoff spot. Usually it only takes 7 wins to guarantee a spot. And once you get to 8 or 9, you're pretty good for the division, and he's got a good lead on the division here. So, it's time for Tony to start looking at his weeks 15 to 17 matchups and see how we can improve his team for the stretch run there. Number 2, Butthole Surfers. Bobby dropped one this week. He's actually above weekly league scoring average this week. But it was a down week across the league, so really, no need to freak out here. The 3 seed, I kept myself, also lost one, another victim of down scoring. But I got some good solid matchups, wide receiver matchups this week. And it should be a banger of a game this week. I'm taking on the number 2 seed, Blood Hall Surfers, so it's me versus Bobby, so it should be a good one. Holding steady at number 4 is Midnight Poutine. Derek was destined to lose. He was up against a resurgent Big Poppy team who fired on all his cylinders. Derek didn't have a lineup out there that could have won, but still a good team. Still holding steady in my book for the second wild card spot at 3-3. But would have preferred not to lose. But I'm not worried yet. In the 6th seed, I'm holding steady for the Bearded Clam. Andrew gets a nice win with a little bit of points left on his bench. And all of a sudden, he's nicely positioned at 3-3 to try to make his playoff run. So a good week there for the Bearded Clam. In the 7th seed, and a team that I think has a real chance to get that score-based third wild card is Big Poppy. Poppy moved to 2-4. This is the Poppy team that won it all last year. A big week. It could have even been bigger. He left a little bit of points on the bench, but Danny is showing signs of life. I have Glenn holding steady there in the 8th seed at 3-3. A solid week. He knocked off a top team, and look at this. He fights his way back to 500, and he's rising up from the ashes like a phoenix to be a contender yet again here in the Factory of Sadness. So things looking up for Glenn. In the 9th seed, I have Turd Ferguson. I moved Dave up a little bit, just one spot. Marginal scoring. But another team fighting their way back to the 500 spot. So nice job. Another 3-3 team. Speaking of 3-3, don't look now, but the Chuggers are in a 6-team logjam at 3-3. All these 3-3 teams are still well within playoff conversations, both for record and for score. So it's good to see a lot of teams in there. I moved the Chuggers. I moved Regan's team up from the 11 to the 10. Dropping down a couple spots here, Dare Leak My Balls. They fall to 2-4. He lost the JOK lottery again and gifted a win to Grow Up to Tony. He would have snuck past him if he would have played JOK. I mean, it's just like they're on the bad luck. Mike's on the bad luck side of that every week, it seems like. But, not great to be 2-4. Some work to do. And then in 12th, Bobby D, Floppy D, 0-6, should just change his team name to the Bad News Bears. It's another week where Bobby can't get a single thing to go his way. And, I still believe that he's going to have his weeks and he's going to push other teams around and he's going to win a couple games that maybe we don't think that he should. But, 0-6, 8 weeks of the regular season left. He's going to have to go 7-1 the next 8 weeks to have a chance or start scoring points like crazy. So, we'll see how that goes, but excited to see how the matchups go this week. But that's where I see the rankings here headed into week 7. So good luck this week, boys, and we'll talk to you next week.